how the front end and back end communicate, a key concept in full stack development and web applications. What is front end and back end? Front end, client side. The front end is the part of a web application that the user interacts with directly, built with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, runs in web browsers. Role displays the UI and collects user input. Backend, server side. The backend is the behind-the-scenes part that handles business logic, database operations, and security. Built with Node.js, Python, PHP, Java, etc. Runs on web servers. Role processes data, performs computations, interacts with databases. How do front-end and back-end communicate? They communicate using HTTP requests and responses, usually over REST APIs or GraphQL APIs. Step-by-step workflow. 1. User triggers an action on the front end. Example, a user clicks login on a web page. Front-end code collects user input like email and password. 2. Front-end sends an HTTP request to back-end, sends data via AJAX using fetch or Axios, sends it to a specific API endpoint on the back-end. JS fetch api.example.com, method post, headers, content type application/JSON, body JSON.stringify, email, password. Number 3, backend receives and processes the request. Backend verifies credentials, maybe with a database lookup, performs logic like authentication, data validation, etc. Hammer 4, backend sends a response, sends back a response object, typically in JSON format. JSON success true, token, ABC123XYZ. Hammer 5, frontend processes the response. If successful, saves a session token, redirects the user, or shows data. If error, shows validation errors to the user. Data format for communication. The frontend and backend often communicate using JSON, JavaScript object notation, most common XML, less common today, form-encoded data for legacy systems. Key terminology, term, description, API, a set of defined rules that allow the front-end to interact with the backend. Endpoint, a specific URL on the backend that performs a function, e.g. /login, HTTP methods, get, post, put, delete for different types of requests. AJAX, technology used by frontend to send requests without reloading the page. Course, security rule that controls cross-origin requests between frontend and backend. Example in a real JS, JS use effect equals fetch hpsi.example.coms has JSON, then data, set posts data. Backend, Node.js with Express, JS app.get/posts recres, const posts id1 hello world, rest.json posts. Authentication and security. Frontend often sends JWT tokens and headers, authorization bearer token, cookies for session management. Backend uses middleware to validate and authorize the request. Summary table step frontend, backend. 1. Collect user input, waits for HTTP request. 2. Sends HTTP request, parses input. 3. Waits for response, queries DB, applies logic. 4. Renders result or shows error, sends JSON response. How the front end and back end communicate, a key concept in full stack development and web applications.